What's up YouTube, it is I, Mark P, and this is going to be my Futureshock 57 thoughts. This was last night, had a really good time, and we'll go over through it in a second. It was nice, really nice amount of people. It wasn't as full as last time, I don't think. Did spot a couple of empty chairs around, but you know, still a great atmosphere. And all that was sat on the left-hand side this time. Well, no, from the hard cameras on the right-hand side, second row, brilliant seats, right in the middle of the ring. Happy days. So, ring announcer Jenna is injured, one of the two. I can't remember actually. So for one night only, we got Jesse, who was the ring announcer when I first started going to Futureshock. So that was a nice little touch. If it's a for one night only. I don't want Jesse to come back full time because Jenna's doing a really good job at the moment. Anyway, that's by the way. So the first match was Nordic Warrior. It's meant to be the Nordic Warrior versus Josh Bowden, but Josh Bowden was injured in training on Saturday, so we got a replacement, and I was so chuffed. I mean, I feel bad for Josh, don't get me wrong, I really do feel bad for Josh, because I was really looking forward to seeing him in action, but his replacement was Bubblegum, and not only was it Bubblegum, but it was babyface Bubblegum, and I've never seen Bubblegum work as a face before. I've only ever seen him work, oh, this camera, why does it always want to fall down? I've only ever seen him work as a heel, so I was intrigued to see how he would work as a babyface, and he pulled it off spectacularly brilliantly, if I do say so myself. This match was, Bubblegum got the early part, and then Nordic Warrior controlled for a long time in the middle, and then Bubblegum got the win. It was nice and simple. At the start, he hit, honestly, Bubblegum did, the hardest sounding Intiguri I've ever heard. Ever. Like I say, Warrior controlled, hit an absolutely colossally large flapjack on Bubblegum. Then Nordic Warrior's manager, Chris Egan, got up on the ringside, and Warrior went to do a big boot on him, completely missed, hit Chris Egan on Bubblegum, who was on the ropes, being held by Egan. Bubblegum gets out of the way, Egan eats the big boot, and then Gunn hits a nice tornado DDT for the win. Nothing wrong with this one at all, nothing wrong at all. If I had to critique something, it's that the crowd noise were not quite as what I was expecting. And that's a theme that I felt lasted throughout the night. I felt that there were times, I think the word that I would describe from this crowd was indifference. Does that make sense? It's not like they didn't, it was just like, they were just like, oh right, okay. But it's a really tricky one. Dave Rain and CJ Banks came out and they cut a promo that was very good. It was very heelish. It was very long. Zach Gibson came out to interrupt, and then Jack Gallagher came out to interrupt. And I've never seen Jack Gallagher, who is the Futureshock champion, by the way, with such intensity in his eyes when he was cutting the promo. He came out and he ripped Dave Ryan and CJ Banks a new one, and then said, and look, I didn't need 6 minutes to do it. It was fucking brilliant, absolutely superb. That set up a brawl because, of course, those 4 men are involved in the main event, and that was all good. Next, women's match: Holly Blossom versus Jenny Shodine. Because I said it wrong before. This match was fantastic. I don't like women's wrestling as a rule, as you all know, but this match was fantastic. And I'll tell you why, because of the psychology element to it. It started off with Holly working over Jenny's arm, right? They then switched it up, and Jenny was working over Holly's arm. The psychology of the match meant that they would spend the whole match working each other's arm, and then to make it just a little bit better, Jenny wins with an armbar. A cross-arm breaker, sorry, not an armbar. Fantastic. I've got no problem with it. Holly Blossom, actually Holly and Hannah, the Blossom twins, are two of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. My mate Alex, who came with me to the show, was absolutely transfixed by Hannah, who was on the outside. The whole match just spent staring at her, and said to me, you know, I just couldn't stop looking at her ass. She's got a magnificent ass though. Yeah, but yeah, again, good match. Indifference from the crowd is what I will say. Next, tag team title match. As my prediction was the Wristlock Rovers, they were taking on the Models for the gold. Now then, the Models came out and did some. I don't think I've ever seen the Models do this before, but they had a little water sprayer, and when they weren't in the ring, they were spraying each other with water, and it just made me, I don't know why, it just really made me chuckle, because I thought, I've never seen that before. That's really turning it on, you know. This match was not what I was expecting, you know, a normal generic tag team match is like, you know, one of the guys will play a face in peril, the heels are battered and not allowed, you know, the fact of quick tags. This didn't really have much of that, because it was just a very back and forth match. Both teams got a lot of offense in, both got a lot of really good stuff. I mean, Reynaldo played the face in peril role for a bit, but not for that long. But yeah, when he did, he got the hot tag to Dangerous Damon Lee. Here, super kick to Danny Hope, rock bottom to Joey Hayes. Oh, sorry, that was, sorry, wrong way around. That was for Reynaldo. I'm sorry. Anyway, in the end, the match was really good. Really enjoyed it. Melanie Price gets up on the ring apron, and after Damon Lee had hit a really nice neckbreaker type move, and I was shouting to do it to her. Anyway, he's like, "Shall I do it? Shall I do it?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he ended up kissing her, and then turns around and walks into 3D from the models for the win. I really enjoyed the match. It was really, really good. Next, and that was the intermission. That was all good. Next, 8-man tag match was such an interesting match. I was expecting comedy from this match, and we got it, and lots of it. Sorry, I never open the window to do it. And then I get so fucking animated that I get hot. Right, a lot of comedy in this one, particularly from Health and Safety. Now, I've always said that I don't have a problem with the guy, Michael Fitzgerald Patrick, whichever way it is. Michael Lovejoy Fitzpatrick, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, why did I say Gerald? I don't know. I really don't. I saw the guy last night, for God's sake. I've never really liked the character. He works for the council. He's a health and safety guy, you know? He gets Bob the Builder chants from the crowd because he wears a fucking yellow hat, which has always made me chuckle. But I've never really got the character. But last night it sort of clicked into place, and I fucking roared laughing at him. He was so funny. He really, really was. He got on the mic at the very start of the match and turned to the Blackpool Blondes and started congratulating on them being the first father and son tag team in British wrestling, which of course they're not, and that got an absolutely fantastic reaction. They did an almost a human centipede spot in one of the corners where Danny Boy Evans got chucked into the corner, and then Michael Lovejoy got Fitzpatrick. God damn, just call him Michael. Got chucked in and put him between his legs, so he's bent down, and then the two Blackpool Blondes got chucked in afterwards. So they've got 4 of them stacked up in the corner, and then the 4 faces took turns to drop kick into their asses, which was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Really was a funny one. My God, right, at one point the Blondes get Sam Bailey, right, and Axel Reyes puts on a Boston Crab, and then J.D. Sassoon comes on and puts on a front face on a camel clutch, but he's holding him in midair. So Sam Bailey is basically bent like that. He can't. Yeah, there's no way he can tap out, and I can't imagine how much that move actually hurts. But it looks so good. It really does look special. Anyway, a double backcracker by is it the Notorious B.A.D.? We'll go with that, because that's what it says on my note. Yeah, that gets the win. And no, again, a really good match. Really enjoyed it. Pacing was perfect. Got a decent amount of time. Had a lot of laughs in it. And when the wrestling went down, it was perfectly acceptable. Really nice. Next was Sparks versus Mark Massa. Oh man, remember I said on my predictions vid that Mark Massa, I don't know anything about it. He comes out with the most intense look. We were talking before about Jack Gallagher and his intensity. Mark Massa, you don't know anything about him, you just know he comes out and the intensity in his eyes, got a decent body, and he's playing a heel, so he's a brrr. And basically, he tossed Sparks around like the proverbial rag doll. Sparks made it count every time he got any offense in, let's put it that way, but every time that Mark Massa was on the offense, he hit big moves. He finished with a fireman's carry into a spinebuster, absolutely gorgeous one at that, for the win. And finally, our main event. Wow. This is probably my match of the year so far, this match was. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Let me tell you something. You all know, watching this, how much I love in-ring psychology, alright? You all know that I will take a match where someone's working the arm for 10 minutes over flippy floppy high spots all day long. We'll take it over weapon brawls all day long, anything like that. Let me tell you something, when Zach Gibson spends 5 minutes having his fucking arm and left hand being worked, right, he then gets a bit of a comeback going, you know? He gets a bit of a comeback going, and he starts clapping. He goes 1, 2, and then, remembers that the fucking hand's been hurt. That, to me, is fucking genius. That's the type of thing that I want to say to Jack Gibson, who I know is watching this vid right now. That makes you the man in my books, alright? That was brilliant. All 4 men in this match did that, though. Later on, Zach had his back worked, and did the same thing. CJ Banks had his ankle worked, and he sold it. He got chucked outside, right, and limped away. from it. It was just magical to watch. The crowd were into it. There was near falls all over the shop. Big moves from CJ Banks and Jack Gallagher were suplexing the shit out of each other. Suicide dive by Zach Gibson to the outside. Just action all over the place, but it was really well done. Did you know, if I had to put a complaint on this, it felt a bit like when Zach Gibson hit the code breaker for the win, yeah. And you just looked at it and went, that was a bit... I didn't expect the finish. I expected... It was on Dave Rain as well, which makes me happy. I expected Dave Rain to kick out. I really did. And he didn't. And it was like... It's not a criticism on the match, believe me, it's not. It felt a bit of a, is that it? Because I wanted more. That's it. I wanted more. I was enjoying this match so much, I wanted another 5-10 minutes. Basically, yeah. See, Futureshock 56 was so very brilliant. I had such a good time there, and I didn't think they'd be able to step up. Every single Futureshock event I seem to go to is better than the last, and this one was absolutely superb, absolutely brilliant show. Had such a good time. Sharapova Mad, who I know is watching this vid, he travelled from Leicester to be in the front row for this show, which I fucking massively applaud. That is truly superb. Come to a Futureshock show, man. You will not have a bad time. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. So the guys at Futureshock, you are awesome. Thank you so much for last night. I've been Mark Pay. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Take it easy, guys.